Once, the residents of Durrama, located in the northeast of England, accidentally saw a horse lying in the mud at a construction site. The animal was so weak that people realized they couldn't waste a moment in this situation. They immediately decided to call the Animal Protection Service. When the arriving volunteers approached the horse, they were truly shocked. At first, upon noticing the animal, people didn't even immediately understand what they were looking at. It was so covered in mud that it almost blended in with the ground. Everyone was sure that whoever it was already dead. But the horse was still breathing, and people managed to notice signs of life in it. They then decided that they needed to urgently call the Animal Protection Organization. The volunteers were simply in shock at the sight they encountered. Who could have brought the animal to such a state? The horse's life was hanging by a thread, and every breath was a struggle for it. It couldn't move at all. Most likely, the animal had a completely irresponsible owner. This person not only knew nothing about how to care for horses but also failed to follow even the most basic rules. It is frightening to think about how many other pets he could have abandoned to suffer and die in the same way. To lift the animal and load it into a vehicle, 5 people were needed. They acted very cautiously, as even the slightest touch seemed to cause the poor creature unbearable pain. The horse, named Heidi, was sent to an animal rescue center, where they began actively treating her, or rather, fighting for her life. Heidi had to endure many trials: blood transfusions, parasite elimination, multiple wound dressings, and treatment for bed sores. But she held on and tolerated all interventions without causing the doctors any additional problems. The poor thing was only able to stand on her feet 34 days after the start of therapy. Fortunately, the care and love of people did their job. Slowly but surely, the horse began to return to a full life. Her wounds healed, and a happy sparkle appeared in her eyes. Everyone was very glad to see how day by day the animal became healthier and stronger. Heidi had to face many difficulties, but today she is fully enjoying life. She is no longer a weak and sick animal that could barely breathe, but a real beauty full of energy and health. Heidi lives in a spacious and well-kept enclosure in the fresh air. She participates in various activities that bring her joy and give her even more strength. The horse charms everyone who works with her. She has not stopped trusting people and interacts with them with great pleasure. The animal knows that there is goodness in the world. If it weren't for the kind-hearted volunteers who gave Heidi a chance at life, she would have long since died from numerous injuries and pain. It is sad to realize that there are people capable of bringing an animal to a critical state and leaving it to die among dirt and debris. To the volunteers and other caring residents of Durrama, immense gratitude is owed. When Heidi was found, she was indeed in terrible condition, and few believed that she would be able to recover. But people still decided to try to save her because they knew that every life must be fought for until the end.